Inspiration Point, Corona Del Mar, California. Views that are hard to beat just a few miles east. What's more inspiring than the journey to the Olympic Games for two of the best in the world of women's water polo? Fourth-ranked Hungary taking on two-time defending Olympic gold medalist Team USA in the second of a three-game set. The William Woollett Aquatics Center in Irvine, California. This scene just a day after these two squads met last night. Hi, everyone. We welcome you poolside, joined by the Olympic great for Team USA, four-time medalist Brenda Villa. Greg Meskel here with you. Brenda, you've been through this on the road to bronze, silver, and gold. You know what it is to try and make that team. It's a final push for both squads.
Yes, these three-game series are great. You're able to play with different lineups, look at different chemistry, and everyone's bringing their A game because everyone wants to make that final roster. So it'll be a great battle tonight.
And they met just a few hours ago last night at a facility with a familiar name, the Brenda Villa Aquatics Center in Commerce, California. And this game, it showed the depth of Team USA. Jordan Rainey got off to a good start.
Yes, and it's always great when your defender gets the ball in the back of the net. It speaks to the versatility of Team USA, many players being able to do multiple roles. So it always helps.
It does always help. And something that also helps, not every team has one, but a good lefty, Stephanie Haralabides. She's been a nice addition.
Yes, having such a dynamic lefty shooter adds to your arsenal, and we haven't had, or Team USA hasn't had many. So
it's fair to say you are a four-time Olympian. Team USA has got a lefty they like. It's a 14-9 win last night in Commerce. They'll try and add to that. 15 straight they've won against the Hungarians. They'll try and keep it going. We'll get you set for the opening sprint here in Irvine. Team USA and Hungary coming up after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back, Southern California, just down the 5 freeway from Los Angeles, Orange County, Irvine, California, and the Woollett Aquatics Center. Team USA and Hungary about to get it going. The second of three important matchups. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. And Brenda, we'll look first at the Hungarians. They have some veterans and some newcomers.
Yeah, you know, Dora Ental has been around for a while. She's fighting for a spot. She's a versatile, dynamic scorer. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings for Team Hungary today.
Yeah, the former Cal Bear, well known in the college water polo circles. And as you said, trying to work her way back to a second Olympic Games. Across the way for Team USA. Again, we touched on it at the top, but a lot of depth and a lot of opportunity here. They'll go 6 in, 6 out.
Yes, and I'm looking to, you know, take a look at center Aria Fisher. She's a young up-and-coming, but she's established herself. I think she's a dominant force in the game, so Hungary's aggressive, so it'll be a good battle today.
Yeah, if you can be a 22-year-old veteran, that's Aria Fisher. She's been doing this since she's about 17 years old at a very high level. Now let's look at some of the key players in this one. Ashley Johnson, everyone agrees she is the best, if not the best, in the cage. As a shooter, what do you see?
You know, she's balanced. She always has a second block in her, so she might tip something, but then she controls the tip. So it's very discouraging to shooters, right? Because she's just balanced always.
She's been discouraging shooters around the globe for years. Hungary, every team in international water polo has that name, you know. Rita Kestelyi is that for the Hungarians.
You know, I remember her as a young player on the Hungarian team, and, you know, her backhanded scoring. She just always finds a way to put the ball in the net, and I think her experience is going to help her lead Hungary.
She is the leader of this team, the captain. Shieldy on the scene, ready for Team USA and Hungary. We'll get the opening sprint and the start of this one when we come back right here live on ESPN. ESPN's exclusive presentation of USA Women's Water Polo is brought to you by Turbo and Sea Air Federal Credit Union. Pete here in water polo. We realize this might be the first time you're ever seeing the sport. Here are some important rules to know about the game of water polo before USA and Hungary get going. 4 8-minute quarters. It's all deep water. They're treading the entire time. Like other sports like basketball, a 30-second shot clock. It'll reset on rebounds. 3 personal fouls per player. Those are important. Then you foul out, and you'll hear a lot of whistles here and there. You can ignore some of them. They're just ordinary fouls. They don't accumulate. Stops the clock briefly, and then we keep going. Hungary in the dark caps, USA in the white. Our officials in this one, Jen McCall, Sergio Macias. Here's a look at what has transpired as of late. Last time USA lost to Hungary, it was in Hungary back in 2014. Otherwise, 15 straight victories for Team USA over Hungary. As we look at Attila Biro, the head coach for Hungary, came on in 2015 to take control of this program. Adam Krikorian, the leader since 2009, and has built this USA squad into the most dominant team women's water polo has ever seen over the last decade, and looking to keep it going here as we're underway now in Irvine. The opening sprint to get us started. Stefania Haralabides on the move for Team USA, but Hungary's there first. Van de Vaey, and we'll see Hungary on offense to start. And Brenda, we talked about it last night. The team that has to travel a long distance for these series, always a little slower start, and then they seem to improve as the week goes along.
Yeah, you get acclimated, you get comfortable in those hotel beds, right? So I expect today to be, similar battle, but a little more intense. You
shake off some of that jet lag as well, as the shot clock now down to 6 here for Hungary on their first attack. Inside backhand, Ashley Johnson is there to deny that attempt in close. And we'll see Team USA on offense now for the first time. Johnson now pushing ahead. Here's Mackenzie Fisher, one of those versatile defender, yet also excellent on offense type players for Team USA.
Some good patience on that counterattack. Now they're set up and ready to attack.
Out high. Here's Hochschild. Shot clock winding down. Fisher takes a look inside. Fisher looking for it to Fisher. Sisters working together, but it's knocked away. The steal, and it comes back to the keeper. And Orsolya Kasho in cage, the 32-year-old for Hungary. Christina Garda here, a late add to the starting lineup. Now working to Antal. Pressured closely by Haralabides. Opening moments, Team USA and Hungary. Good look over the top with position. Score it for Hungary. Excellent move in close. Rebecca Parks got the turn, put on the brakes, separated from her defender and hit.
That was a great entry pass. There was only like an inch, and she got it there, and it was hard for Fisher or Mackenzie Fisher to recover.
And how about the presence of mind there from Parks? She has inside water, but actually feels the defender go past her and steps back a bit.
Yeah, that's good awareness of knowing where you can pin somebody.
Great positioning there, and Parks is able to hit. And now we'll see an exclusion on this end. So the first power play coming up on either side. Team USA will go up 6-on-5 for the next 20 seconds. They have the advantage.
And it's that center play. It's Aria Fisher not, being passive in there. She's so aggressive that she makes these calls happen.
And Stefania Haralabides answers the call here on the power play. She has her first, and the first for Team USA. We're even at 1 after Dora Antal's excluded.
It's a high rotation up there for her. Just balance and able to fire that away.
In the 6-on-5, it is such an important part of water polo. And the teams that do it the best, first, they've never dropped the ball. They snap passes around the perimeter so strongly. And second, to your point, they're patient. Now here's a turnover. Steffens, dangerous pass. That one's taken away. And Hungary and Rita Kestilyi, the captain, able to get in front.
One of the teams is trying to set the tempo, right? So Team USA is known for counterattacking. They're trying to push that, but a little too much, I think, in that play.
Hungary last night in Commerce, they were so intent on getting their 2-meter game going, and they're doing it here again. They draw the exclusion in close. Natasha Rybanska working inside, able to draw the exclusion. Aria Fisher will go off with her first foul. And we'll see Hungary on the advantage. They were so strong last night on the 6-on-5.
And they usually are. They have so many. Everyone's a shooter.
Bar out on that try in close. Rybanska goes off the bar on the power play, and sides come even.
Hungary establishing that inside game early.
Hochschild now trying to establish herself, but tipped away. Excellent defense from Garda. Knocking that one away from Hochschild, who's started out in that center position here for Team USA. So a little bit of a different wrinkle to see her down to 2 meters.
Yeah, I think she's one of those players that is versatile and can be a defender, an attacker, and a center.
Entry here. Johnson coming out and takes it away. Ashley Johnson able to steal that one right away from Rebecca Parks, who had gotten inside 2 defenders, and then Johnson with the steal.
Yeah, it seems if, you know, that Hungarian center turns and makes a play for an ejection, it's beneficial to them, but if not, Ashley's there.
Mel Seidemann has come on now, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She'll draw an exclusion. That will send off Rabanska, and the second power play now for Team USA. Harlabitis, Seidemann. Playing catch in close. Out high now, Fisher. Neuschel works along 2 meters. Shot clock about to expire. Harlabitis, cross cage is good to go. She has 2.
Such a quick release.
Stefania Harlabitis out of Athens, Greece. High school not far from here, Corona del Mar. Went to USC and has brought her high-scoring ways to Team USA. The advantage of a lefty. Look at the angle. Cross cage. That works. 2-1 Team USA.
To go to second Olympics with my sister would be incredible. The first one was really special, but I think we've become even closer. In these two years of full-time training, we've been living together and doing literally everything together, so it'd be really special to be able to share that experience with her.
There's Mackenzie Fisher out of Laguna Beach, California, and sisters not uncommon on Team USA. Jessica and Maggie Steffens, and now Aria and Mackenzie, the latest gold medal duo here for Team USA.
You know, I got to know the Steffen sisters really well, so it's been fun to watch another set of sisters out there. And, you know, they're all Cardinals, so I've been watching all of them closely.
Of course, the Stanford grad here, Brenda, no surprise. Very happy to see a bunch of fellow Card make their way onto the Team USA platform as we're out of the timeout. Under 4 to go first quarter, 2-1 lead for Team USA, all thanks to Stefania Harlabitis doing the job. Back-to-back power play strikes. On the other end now, Hungary back inside. Johnson stuffs that. Kyung Yoshi had come on, got good position, but Johnson there to clean it up. And we're seeing a theme here, Brenda. Hungary is getting inside position.
Yes, right. You can't call an ejection every possession, but if you can call them often, I think that's going to help them. But Ashley just comes out so quickly and stops them.
Rachel Fatal is on. Team USA into that bench now deep. Fatal, here's Maddie Musselman. A drop there from Fatal. Shot clock to 2. She'll have to go. Bar out from about 7 meters, and it's controlled here by Cascio. And this is the depth of Team USA. So you see people like Maddie Musselman, Rachel Fatal coming in off the bench. They're easily starters anywhere else on the globe, and often can start for this team as well. And it's just Krikorian tinkering with that lineup. What does he want to use as they prepare for the big competitions ahead?
Yeah, who wants to show anything early, right?
Exclusion here on Team USA. That's Elise Williams going off. And Hungary on the advantage. Szilagyi inside the skip. Johnson knocks it away on the try in close. That was Susanna Mate. But Johnson tipped it out. It's out of bounds off of Ashley Johnson. So it'll come back in at 2 meters. Shot clock, you see, resets to 20 seconds now on the rebound. Still on the advantage, though. That clock continued to go, and so sides will come even soon. And that one is tipped out again. Ashley Johnson denying the attempt from Szilagyi from the outside.
Yeah, almost on those tip outs, you have to go on an early shot, right? Because you don't have as much time left on the power play.
Look at Johnson, the Princeton Tiger out of Miami, Florida. This is a heavy West Coast-based squad, except for Ashley Johnson. A lot of California residents, a lot of California college grads, but not Johnson. From Florida, went to Princeton. Shot clock to 5 now. Hungary on the perimeter, a drop. In trouble here on this possession, they'll dump it aside, and so frustration there for Hungary. They go from a 6-on-5 to not getting a shot off.
They kept the ball for over a minute, right? And Team USA was able to stay balanced and controlled on defense. Frustration
there, the face of Attila Biro, the head coach for Hungary. Here's Fatal, now works to Musselman. That'll be an exclusion suit grab, and those we're picking up with frequency here as Team USA works into the offensive end now on the 6-on-5. They're 2 for 2 thus far. Exclusion will go on Brigitte Horvath, and Maddie Musselman will answer the call with her first. And the third power play goal for Team USA, so they are taking advantage of the 6-on-5 now, 3 for 3 as Musselman delivers.
Yeah, that's a great execution there.
Maddie Musselman. Also, we talked about young veterans, a kind of oxymoron of a term, but 22 years old, made her Olympic debut in Rio, a gold medalist there, and headed back to UCLA after the Olympics.
Well, you look at Maddie and Aria, right? They've been playing water polo from a really young age, so they do have that water polo knowledge, so they are veterans.
No doubt about it. They've been playing not just club, high school, but also international with the Pipeline, youth cadet squads, traveling the globe as teenagers to represent Team USA. Less than 90 seconds to go, first quarter, 3-1 lead. Team USA on the move here. Captain Maggie Steffens controls. Ordinary here as Melissa Seidemann works into that center position. Jordan Rainey will give a look. Steffens around to Rainey, lets fly, and Jordan Rainey picking up where she left off last night in Commerce. That's her first tonight. She had 3 last night.
It's the passing sequence, right? You establish your inside game. Hungary's dropping from everywhere, and they have great passing sequence, and she just puts it away.
We talked with her last night after the game, and she spoke to just the depth on this squad where really anyone can put those shots away, especially the way they work together as a passing unit.
Yes, it's hard to defend.
About a minute to go here in the first quarter.
That was a great switch at set. There was some action, and I think Hungary's looking for some mismatches, if there is any, right? And it was a great switch.
Maggie Steffens now defending at 2 meters. Years ago, she got her start as a defender on this USA squad and battling for position now with Rebecca Parks. Parks trying to turn Steffens, who is underwater now. Steffens emerges. There's the lob. Ashley Johnson ready for it right as the shot clock was expiring. And in front of Johnson, a tussle continues between the two six caps, Steffens and Parks. And you can see that as Johnson makes that save. Steffens and Parks going at it. Now here's the advantage. The center trailing the play. Fatal around the way, Rainey. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Steffens inside, Seidemann doesn't like it. Back out to Musselman. 5 seconds left. Here's an ordinary. Steffens, Rainey, quick shot, save. Kasho knocks that down as time expires here in the first quarter. And so Hungary scores first. Team USA has an answer. They do the job on the 6-on-5, 3 for 3 on the advantage. Stefania Haralabidis with 2 big goals. And we're through one quarter here in Irvine. Back with more after this timeout.
And this past year has been a really good opportunity for us to overcome a lot of adversity with COVID, with time away from the pool. And I think we've really done a good job of connecting with each other and developing our water polo skills.
There's Maddie Musselman adding a goal here for Team USA, and one of many athletes on this USA squad that they're from an athletic family. They have water polo players. Her older sister Alex played at UCLA. Her dad Jeff, Major League Baseball pitcher with the Mets and the Blue Jays. And it's interesting to see that story unfold. 2 people that know what it's like to perform at a very high level.
I mean, it can't hurt, right? When
Not at all.
Have that in your family discussion at the dinner table, right? Like, how do you throw a ball?
Yeah, how do you handle the pressure?
Mechanics? Yes.
Now, in fairness, Jeff was a lefty, so his arm release may be a little bit different than Maddie here letting go of a water polo ball. But nonetheless, Musselman has taken to the world stage quite nicely. Defending there for the moment. Hungary has it back on offense. Opening moment, second quarter here. Team USA and Hungary. Final preparations before the Olympic team is named for the U.S. on June 3rd. Here's Dora Antal. The Calbert is field blocked. Maddie Musselman is there to turn that one away. And we talk about the road to Tokyo and just a condensed schedule due to the pandemic. Not a lot of activity for the national teams really before this month, especially with Team USA. And so they're cramming it all in now. We'll head to Greece in a couple of weeks for the World League Super Final. And it's really the final trainings before they head to Japan. Exclusion here. Power play once again for Team USA. That's Van de Vaay going out on the exclusion. Rachel Fatal Works to Musselman, slides in along 2 meters now. Mackenzie Fisher, timer to 4. Great look. Steffens tries the redirect. Hochschild cleans it up. Paige Hochschild, right place, right time, with 2 on the shot clock.
Great awareness of finding that ball.
You see the timing play they're going for there. Steffens trying to one-time at home, and then, just like basketball, follow your shot or follow your teammate's shot. Keep an eye on the ball.
And block out, right? Is
yeah,
that something
exactly.
that they teach him?
That
I
is.
didn't play much basketball, but that I do remember.
You were too busy winning gold medals as an 18-year-old around the world. So 6:44 to go. Opening moments, second quarter. Again, working around that 2-meter area. 5-1 advantage here for Team USA. Close early, and again, the U.S. offense has started to extend their lead.
Oh, that was a great defense. You have, captains Maggie Steffens directing that defense. I'm back, you move over, and it helps you not give them as many options because they're all great shooters, so you're minimizing their attack. And
guard is turned away there by Ashley Johnson. You do often think about the goalkeeper as the quarterback of the defense, but others will help, and great help defense there. But then Steffens somehow comes and rips that one away. It was a sure steal for Hungary, but Maggie Steffens sticking with the play and coming from behind to tip it away.
It's like, who wants the ball more, right? It's like, where is it? How can I get it back?
Fisher, that skip, a little too much bounce on it just prior to the cage, up and away. And the ball back to Hungary, now trying to figure out their offense. Pressure here from Team USA as they push the ball out near mid-pool, but here's a clean look. Ball comes inside now for a triple team and a takeaway. Maddie Musselman.
Great team play. Hungary is really pushing the counterattack, trying to create these little one-on-one advantages, but Team USA were playing a great team at defensive.
Mackenzie Fisher now looking to gain inside position, takes her defender for a ride. That's good enough for an exclusion. And the 6-on-5 is back on again for the U.S. And in close, Maggie Steffens, easy money on the bounce.
And the great thing about that attack, right, is like you're going quick. You're not allowing the defense to set up.
Defense leading to offense.
Yes, you come up with these big defensive plays. You counterattack. They're out of position. You could take advantage of that.
And we talked about it last night. Natalie Benson joining us on the broadcast, and she spelled it out. 6-on-5, the best chances to score right at the beginning of the quick you just talked about, or right at the end.
Oh, yes, and Natalie would bring up defense, right? She was a defensive specialist that also had a great shot.
There's a look at Maggie Steffens, has emerged as the best in the world of women's water polo. They don't do a World Water Polo Player of the Year anymore via FINA, but when they were doing it, Maggie won them about 2 or 3 years in a row.
She was stacking those awards up. They figure, let's just make it a team thing.
Exactly. And that's now Team USA has been stacking those awards up. 5 minutes to play. Johnson with the left. Sees that one all the way in from Anna Illich and sends it out of play. Now off the ball, an exclusion. And then from behind, the tip away, Kaylee Gilchrist. Excellent help defense as Hungary was going for the quick with Anna Illich. But we won't get far. In transition, looks like there'll be an exclusion against Team USA. And so that was Jamie Nuschel on the way back down. And so Hungary will get to go up on the 6-on-5 here. There's Nuschel, the guilty party there out on the perimeter. And new life on offense for Hungary.
It's a great thing about this sport, right? A lot of action. You've got to really, not lose focus because then you're going to miss a play.
Yeah, things can quickly turn on a dime here in water polo, and you see it there. The shot clock expires. So Hungary, again, they have a good opportunity on the advantage. Can't get a shot off. And now Team USA back on offense. And for as strong as Hungary was last night on the 6-on-5, struggling so far today. Gilchrist to Steffens. Here's Fatal. Under 4 to play, second quarter. Steffens. Harlabitis, Cascio there. And an ordinary, and that just means the ball back to Hungary, and they'll get a chance to advance.
And the power play really is the difference right now, right? Team USA is executing on the power play. Hungary is not. So
to put it that simply, Team USA 5 for 5 on the advantage. Hungary 0 for 4. And we touched on it last night as well. That will often tell the story of a game, and it does tell us what's happened in this one.
Those are the stats you look for.
Every coach wants to know, what is our exclusion ratio? How many fouls do we have against us? Shot clock to 3. Antal's got to go. Loads it up, and it is tipped out. Ashley Johnson getting a piece of a lot of these shots as of late, and now we'll be coming to a timeout. So Ashley Johnson in the cage, already in double digits. 10 saves. Team USA in front of Hungary, 6-1 here in the second. Cemented their status as all-time greats. A dominant performance. They trailed for merely seconds in that tournament on their way to gold. And, well, guess who's back? They've got a whole host of key pieces returning, aiming to make this Tokyo roster. And, Brenda, some names you know down there, a couple of your teammates from London, also a gold medal win.
Yes, to think to the London, and then the stat you just said about only trailing for mere seconds. Like, I can't even phantom that, right? So it just, and I've played a long time, been on a lot of successful teams, but that just shows the dominance of this Team USA.
Yeah, no knock on your gold medal, but that one, everyone was sweating that one out. the games were close, and then you get to that Rio run, and they were lighting teams up from the jump.
I was nervous just because it seemed like that couldn't be it.
Yeah.
Like
Is it going to be this simple? And we know it's not that simple. They work very hard. But from a scoreboard perspective, it was just an outright thrashing through the competition. That shot goes wide. 6-1, Team USA ahead. Late stages here, first half. Here's Kaylee Gilchrist. And hang around at halftime. We've got a great story on Kaylee and her recovery. The Mamba mission. You'll want to see all about that coming up at the break. And her road back from a devastating injury following the 2019 World Champs. Rachel Fatal, bar out. Here's Gilchrist to track it down. Shot clock back to 20. And they can regroup. Here's Musselman, has all day. Field block is there. Excellent help from Hungary as Musselman had time to eye that one up.
there's like no hesitation. There is a bar out, new possession for them. They go on these drives, create a new opening. It's great attack.
So we near halftime. Team USA, they led 10-3 last night at the break. So Hungary closing that gap here as their defense has been a bit sharper.
Hungary missed an opportunity there. They were up on the counterattack and then didn't quite get the ball where it needed to go.
They've had chances on the advantage, 0 for 4, and then on the counter as well. And now running out of time, spin inside, and penalty called. Powerful move by Gyang Yoshi, double teamed by Gilchrist and Fatal, reverse wheel inside. Let's go with the ball, and that's a penalty drawn for Hungary.
They threaded the needle on the pass in, and yeah, it was a great move.
Young Yoshi, 31 years old, plays for the BVSC club in Hungary, and now Antal to try and cash in on the penalty. And does. Dora Antal on the board for the Hungarians, and they make it 6-2 on the penalty shot score.
I mean, I thought I heard a sound of, maybe not.
Maybe
doesn't
a fingertip
matter.
on the way
I thought
through.
I heard him fingertip, but I guess it doesn't matter because it went in.
Goalies, I think, feel like wide receivers in football. If they get their hand on any part of it, they feel like they should have stopped it, or in football caught it. And in this case, it finds the back of the cage.
Yeah, hard burden for goalies, right?
It is. It is. I would not want to be in that position.
No, no, no.
Gilchrist now. She threads a pass. Fisher deals to Seidemann. Aria didn't realize it, but she had all day to turn inside. Gilchrist now lets fly, and Kasho gathers that center cage. And Aria Fisher just spun back. She had inside water to work with.
She did. She's used to all the crashing that happens, right? But that was still a great pass out to Seidemann that maybe would have converted something, but you got to read what they're giving you.
Antal trying to add a second, this time on a natural goal, and that is wide and away. Less than 90 seconds to go until halftime. And Rachel Fatal will take us into the front court. Hartle beat us 2 goals early. Now Seidemann and Aria Fisher, you can see her suit being grabbed. by Anna Illich, and so an exclusion on Illich, and the power play here for Team USA, where they have been fantastic, 5 for 5. Seidemann waves it around, works to Musselman, less than a minute to go. Cross pass, Gilchrist, look away, all good for KG. Kaylee Gilchrist gave a little hesitation, like she might go back across the pool, and then buries 6 for 6 on the advantage.
Yes, I was waiting for the replay because I think I saw that hesitation, but it's a great finish.
A little bit of a no look.
I feel like she's known for those little, you know, no looks, knows where to make that pass.
And there's Gilchrist looking to make her second Olympic team. As we told you, we'll have more on her at halftime. Such a great story heading into the Tokyo Games. Her dad, Sandy, a swimmer for Team Canada. He swam at the last Olympics in Tokyo back in 1964. So there'd be some tremendous symmetry to see his daughter go to the Olympics in Japan this summer.
Going to the point of many of the athletes on Team USA having, you know, dads, moms, family members.
Big crash inside. Yang Yoshi causing problems. She draws the exclusion. 6 on 5 here for Hungary. Desperate to try and connect on the advantage as Mackenzie Fisher goes off. Work it around to Antal. Kestilly. Here's Mate. Outside, and that's field blocked. Actually, they'll say Johnson got a piece of that on the try from Christina Garda. So shot clock is off. 14 seconds left here. Exclusion with a couple of seconds left now for Hungary. Mackenzie Fisher waiting to emerge, and she's back. So the power play is over. Sides even. Antal denied. Rachel Fatal, you can hear the thud as she knocks that down. The former volleyball standout closing the block as we pull into halftime. 7-2, Team USA in front of Hungary. As Ashley Johnson, strong defensive effort early on. Stephanie Harlabidis, and it's a similar story last night. The margin isn't as high, but the balance is there for Team USA.
Yes, I agree. And I would say that Stephanie
Harlabidis?
Thank you.
We got
I got stuck there. Got us off to a great start. It's that dynamic shooting, and then that opens it up for everyone else in the pool. So then you add a range of, like, Rainey got on, no, did she get on the board? Yes, I think Musselman,
yep, Jordan Rainey was there.
So yes, it's that range of shooters. Anybody on any given night could show up for Team USA.
And now we have Stephanie Harlabidis joining us here. A couple of early goals. Stephanie, thanks for spending a couple of minutes. We've talked about the depth of this team. You were the one to score first, but what is it like to have so many competent shooters out there?
Because we have so many competent shooters, that's why I was open to take those shots. My teammates are creating those opportunities, and that's why I'm getting open for those shots.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the speed and the counterattacking that's happening in today's game. I know you have a lot of speed, so how does it feel in there creating opportunities on the counterattack for your teammates?
I have to be ready every day to do that, even though I'm exhausted at times and it hurts. But yeah, every day working on it and creating those opportunities, it makes me happy because even though I don't get open, my other teammates get open.
Excellent. Stephanie Harlabidis, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, 2 early goals for Harlabidis. Team USA ahead 7-2 here at the break. We will take a timeout. When we come back, more on Kaylee Gilchrist first half stats, and we'll get you set for the start of the third quarter. You're watching Water Polo right here live on ESPN. Halftime here in Irvine, California, brought to you by Nulo Pet Food. Team USA leading Hungary 7-2. And as we told you, the story of Kaylee Gilchrist, 2016 Olympic gold medalist, it's an inspiring one. Injured after the 2019 World Championship, her return to form, nothing short of inspiring.
So after World Championships, we beat Spain in the finals in Gwangju, South Korea, and we were out celebrating, and the balcony I was on top of collapsed, and there was a few teammates there. A lot of the water polo community was there, and I had a severe left leg laceration and was rushed to the hospital and underwent surgery shortly after and cut 3 muscles and got tons of stitches. And, you know, the mama mission is what our trainer calls it, and I was back to rehab and spent a lot of time to get back to where I am today.
That first phase of the Mamba mission was just the physical aspect, to get healthy, get her fitness, to heal her wounds. You know, as she had her first game in Canada at the Holiday Cup, I was just, wow, she made it up to that point. And the second phase was the mental aspect. And I think to share her vulnerability and to see how she's grown as a person throughout this whole process, that's what I'm most proud about Kaylee.
It's been inspiring, to be honest. It's been inspiring to watch the effort and how diligent she has been to get back to 100%. And with the games being in 2020 as they were planned, I mean, she wasn't quite 100% yet. I think she was physically ready, but, you know, it takes, especially in our sport, so physically challenging to get her fitness level to where she knows she could be. It just wasn't going to happen. So this extra year is giving her that time, and at the same time, I think it's given her an opportunity to properly look back and reflect on how fortunate she is and all the work that she's put in to kind of get herself in position to compete in her second Olympic Games.
If I can make the team and if we can be successful in Tokyo, I think it's thank you to everyone that's helped me, my trainers, doctors, my community, family, and friends. And I know we got a big contingency rooting us on from home, but we'll miss them dearly down there.
Welcome back. Team USA leading Hungary 7-2. Beautiful day in Southern California and a good start for the defending Olympic champs in women's water polo. As we look back at what transpired here in the first half, Hungary started off strong, and then Team USA had an answer, Brenda. They turned to the left-hander, Stefania Harlabides.
Oh, yes. Quick attacks, quick balanced attacks. Everyone's a scorer.
She told us at the break she's able to make shots like that because of everyone else on her team. And it also helps to have someone rock solid in goal.
Yes, the way she comes out to smother any shot attempts from center, which seems that's Hungary's game plan, to get it into their center, to get close range shots on Johnson. It's not working because she's so quick to come out of the goal.
Aggressive goalkeeper, yeah, does not shy away from coming off her line. She's got 10 big saves, and they've thrown everything at her. The lobs, the direct shots, in close. She's ready for all of it so far. Look at that bottom line. The coach and you will zero in on that power play.
What do we do different, right? It seemed like Hungary was trying to go to their post, maybe being too patient, maybe they're a little hesitant because they haven't scored, but they have to find a different rotation maybe so that they could get confidence back in their power play, because that's the tale of two cities right there.
Exactly. 0 for 5 for Hungary, 6 for 6 for Team USA. Now for Hungary, they'll put that in two different buckets. One, happy to draw 5 exclusions, but then disappointed they can't convert. So they'll work on that here in the second half. We're at intermission here in Irvine, California. Team USA, the second of 3 against Hungary, ahead at the break. SoCal, the scene, great place for the game of water polo, and it's where Team USA trains as they prepare for the Tokyo Olympics. Ahead of Hungary 7-2 as we prepare for the start of the second half, and long time in between games due to the pandemic. 453 days between matches. They'd had their 69-game win streak snapped in early 2020, and yes, they were training in that interim, Brenda, but you can't replicate no live competition against someone else.
You can't, and I really think that games are so important, right? Those game situations, end of the game, 2 minutes, everything on the line. Like, you can't manufacture that at practice, even though coaches have tried, and Adam is, you know, and Guy before him, like, trying to put all these scenarios together, but there's nothing like playing opponents and having everything on the line. And I feel like tough, strong teams get better because they play in all these high pressure situations. So if you don't have that, you're at a deficit.
Well, and you've been through that grind of training. How much harder must it be when you don't have that light at the end of the tunnel of, oh great, we're going to go to Europe next month, or we're going to host Hungary this week. It's just us against us.
It adds you need a different layer of like mental toughness to be able to get through that, because you're competing against your own teammates, your roommates, like so much, right? Yeah. And it's like, no, I do like you today. No, but in all seriousness, like, it is harder, but kudos to everyone, right, in the world getting through this and being able to stick with it mentally, and then now be able to play games.
And here's the man that has tried to keep it all together for Team USA, what Adam Krikorian has done with this squad after a stellar run in Westwood at UCLA. You talk about continuing to win. He came off of 5 straight NCAA titles with the Bruins, right into a world championship with Team USA, and has continued to build things here. And always looking for the next challenge. And like so many of us, the pandemic gave this squad that. How do you persevere through those difficult times? And we've heard the athletes talk about it over the last couple of days, and you hit on it. Now they're getting a chance to have competition and really get those much needed games. Live action resumes. Second half underway. Third quarter here. Hungary moving right to left in the dark caps. Team USA in the white. They go right back to the well inside. There's a nice turn, and there's a penalty. Very similar to how we started this one off. They pour it into Rebecca Parks, and she will draw the penalty try.
Hey, if something's working, you stick with it.
And now the chance for Christina Garda to hit on the penalty. And she does, able to push that one past Ashley Johnson. Second penalty strike is there. First for Garda. Oh, and she
great placement. I mean, ooh. Ashley Johnson can cover a lot of the goal, right? So there's only a few places you can place that.
Buzz the tower there, coming in close, right over the shoulder. It was close to donut territory, but we're not going to put that on Ashley.
No, I think there was a finger touch on it that prevented that.
7-3, USA in front. Important goal there for Hungary, as Parks, originally from New Zealand, but competing for Hungary, draws an important exclusion. And then Fisher, just a look of pure frustration as she had worked to hold position, and then the pass didn't get there.
Yeah, centers are working hard and expecting their teammates to get them that ball once they're ready, because it's a hard battle in there.
And now the long outlet, trying to push ahead to Doracha Silagi, and she'll track it down in the corner. And working out to Susanna Mate. Around the way, Van de Vij. Vij lets fly, and Ashley Johnson tips it away with the left. It'll come back in 2 meters. One of the newer wrinkles here in international water polo. From this restart, players are live. They can shoot from there. They can move with the ball. It used to be a pass-only situation.
I love that new rule. I think it just makes it more action-packed, and you're a threat everywhere, so be aware.
Entry in. Look at this. A scrum in front of the cage. Again, Parks was surfing on top of Steffens, moving back towards the cage. The pass came in, and it was knocked away. The help defense arrives.
Great aggressive move by Ashley Johnson out of the go. She sees that her captain might need a little bit of help, and she's there for it.
Our Labidas now on the attack. And on this end, we'll see an exclusion. Frustration for Parks, but the quick is not there for Fatal. She's knocked down by Cascio. So Parks will make her way to the corner, then try and sub out, as Hungary will be down a player here on the counterattack. We'll see Gyong Yoshi come in.
This will be a blow it down a little bit.
And that's a public service announcement for younger water polo players. That's why you swim hard to the corner after you're excluded, because your team's been down a player now for 15 seconds as Johnson knocks it away with the right hand on the Kestilly attempt.
Swimming is so important. Speed is so important. So get to that ejection box.
First time Team USA had faltered on the 6-on-5. However, now 6 for 7. Hochschild working inside. They'll go right back to it. Then go up on the power play once more. Garda going off now. That's her second foul. Maggie Steffens walks it in. Here's Hara Labidas. Wow. Hara Labidas gave a look like she might pass, and then fires a skip near side for the goal.
Keep the goalie honest, right?
And a hat trick for Stephanie Hara Labidas. The advantage of a lefty. A righty is not able to make that sort of score.
No, that's a great point. Because you don't see as many lefties in the game of water polo, right? You have your default, oh, my arm can get thrown up there. But no, with the lefty, you have to really get all the way to that corner, to that post.
Hara Labidas, star at USC, played there with her twin sister, Joanna Hara Labidas, and picked up an NCAA championship back in 2016 for the Trojans, and has now been an important part of Team USA.
from which he works in the center court. Williams on the defense.
Pressure here from Team USA. You can hear Johnson directing traffic, calling for no foul. Work it outside and score it from the perimeter. That's Susanna Mate able to connect. We talk about teams still trying to figure out their lineups. Hungary brought 17 players with them, and so they shuffled their lineup again tonight. Mate didn't go last night, gets the call tonight, and is able to connect for her first goal in this series. The 24-year-old cashing in. Hungary chipping away, trailing by 4 here in third quarter action.
You've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You know, spicy chicken and Mountain Dew is the perfect combo.
You know, we both did the employee training, Gary.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
Hi, Dane.
What's up, Linda?
You around for the 2 p.m. production meeting?
My calendar's up to date. Did you check?
Yeah, I checked, but every hour is blocked off as Dame time, so I wasn't sure.
It's always Dame time.
So, are you going to the production meeting?
2 o'clock? Nah, that Dame time happens to be lunchtime today. Sorry.
Oh.
Infinity pool in the back. Your chick wanna fool with a Mac.
Smile Direct Club. These are Smile Direct Club aligners. They can turn a smile like this into a smile like this in as little as 4 to 6 months for less than $3 a day. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com. Smile Direct Club. Let's talk about teeth straightening. Why does Invisalign cost so much? Smile Direct Club costs 60% less than Invisalign, and it's guaranteed for life. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
No shortage of Stanford Cardinal on this Team USA roster as we look at the colleges well represented. Maggie Steffens, Mackenzie Fisher, Jamie Nuschel, the list goes on. Brenda Villa next to me, a Stanford Cardinal as well. And tends to go in cycles here, Brenda. There's certain quadrennials where it's all UCLA or heavy USC, but as of late, the Card have been well represented.
They have been, and it's interesting. We just showed the Team USA roster and those college connections, and then I looked to Hungary, and there's also college connections. So it's so great that the level of play at NCAA is so high because so many international players are also playing in the U.S., making everyone better.
Yeah, you look at Dora Antal, Anna Illich from Hungary, both former Cal Bears, and many around the globe considering women's college water polo the most competitive league you could take part in, as a penalty is drawn by Melissa Seidemann, able to get inside, working there on Susanna Mate, and Team USA will have their first penalty try. And we showed you that list just a couple of weeks ago. USC, the latest NCAA champ in women's water polo, as Maddie Musselman steps up and denied. Cascio blocks that one, but then on the rebound, Musselman gets her own rebound and then an exclusion. So a 6-on-5 as Antal is sent off. The official ruling that Antal swam on top of Musselman. And so a power play now.
I mean, it's a hard situation, but it's the right call. You're so aggressive because you don't want a second attempt.
And Elise Williams makes him pay. Hitting from the outside, the Huntington Beach, California native on the skip. And how demoralizing for Hungary. You get the penalty shot blocked, a rarity, and then allow a 6-on-5.
You know, and I will say, though, you have 2 of your defenders on the post, right? If you saw that image, and you're supposed to block out, so you don't cover your goalie on a great block, and it is demoralizing.
Closer look at Williams trying to make her first Olympic team. And you talk about perseverance. This is someone that was one of the final cuts for the Rio squad and has stuck with it 5 years later. It has not happened in the history of this USA women's national team. There's not been a final cut that has come back to then make the team the next time around. Williams trying to change that. Johnson saves that, and Jamie Nuschel hunts it down. Here's Rainey. Looking for Seidemann, the pass not there. And now Nuschel controls. 9-4, Team USA in front midway through the third. Musselman out high. Here's Williams.
You know, Musselman is dropping that. That defense has to be so deep because she's such a dominant center in there.
And drawing a crowd in close. And you see the respect. So much of this, even if it's not resulting in goals, you're just seeing the deference to what might happen. The defenders have to pay attention. Beautiful pass across the way, just unable to connect. They were trying to find Antal on that far post. She was there, just couldn't gather and score.
What a pass. Those used to be my favorites. To receive and to make.
Of course. Musselman on the move now. Now Gilchrist, Hungary out of sorts. Dangerous pass from Gilchrist across the way. This will allow Hungary to regather on defense. Shot clock to 7. Musselman out high. Rainey lets it go. Jordan Rainey rips it for her second. And a 10-4 lead for Team USA.
That passing sequence, right? It almost turned into like an extra pass that could have been taken away, and then USA recovers and then just nails it.
And you see the really good teams do this, and USA and Hungary would qualify as we look closer at Rainey, where they have a good option and they wait for that great option to take the shot.
Yes. And that's discipline and trust. And it's a great position to be in.
It's a very unselfish nature. You see athletes that are on this USA roster especially could easily go out and get 7-8 goals themselves per game, but they look to make the extra pass. Hungary trying to work their way back in. Ilish out high. Rybanska bar down, a beauty for Natasha Rybanska, the 21-year-old cashing in from the perimeter.
I think she put a dent in that goal post.
It's still shaking. Well, if you want to try and beat Ashley Johnson, put it high corner off the bar, and even she'll struggle to go and get that one, and Rybanska has her first. Had 1 goal last night. And part of that next wave here for this Hungarian team. This roster was retooled in 2018 after the World Champs in Budapest in 2017. And Coach Biro elevating a lot of the younger talent. Redirect denied. Kasho. They found Jamie Nuschel inside, and she was sent away. Nearing the 2-minute mark in this third quarter.
Big block by the Hungarian goalie.
Yeah, Kasho in a tough spot there as Nuschel was in a great position in close. Shot clock to 12. Rybanska walks it in. Out high, timer to 4. Antal just off the mark, puts it wide of the goal. Second look at this Kasho stop. That's tough given the positioning of Nuschel.
Great work by Musselman on that counterattack.
And now Team USA on the power play. 6-on-5 here with Ilish picking up her second foul. Shot clock to 5. Musselman out high. Deals to Rainey. Skip, stopped by Kasho. And covering up is Antal.
I feel like goalies go on streaks, right? You get one great save and then a couple more keep coming.
They can get in a rhythm.
Yes, yes. And I think Hungary needs these stops on 5-on-6 to kind of shift the momentum of the game.
Team USA now 8 for 10. A stellar number on 6-on-5, but Hungary has stopped some of the recent opportunities. Entry in, and Seidemann quickly with the right hand takes that one away. And Ashley Johnson will get this offense in gear as we fall under a minute left here in the third quarter. Second of a 3-game series between Team USA and Hungary.
Rainey rotates up, gets the ball.
All leading up to final roster selection for the Tokyo Games. Here's a look. Nuschel from behind, knocked down. Shot clock to 3. Musselman to Williams. As time expires, she beats the buzzer. Elise Williams hitting.
No panic. Great patience right to the buzzer.
Stress-free on offense. Williams, right as the shot clock was winding down, just simply gathers it up and puts it home. Here's a closer look as that shot clock is winding down. Williams can see it and lets it go right as the horn sounds. 3-time world champion, Elise Williams. And that gives you a sense of the road she's traveled. So she won gold in 2015, 2017. In between there, though, does not make an Olympic team. That gives you an idea of how tough it is to make this roster. And, of course, then wins in 19 and is now here on the doorstep again of potentially making the Olympic roster.
And a testament to her, right? Like, it's not easy being one of the last ones to not make an Olympic team and then to come back and put in 5 years to get another shot.
Well, you think about Olympic athletes in any sport, and it's not as simple as, we use basketball as an analogy, where fans will say, come back for one more season. Hey, Vince Carter, go one more year in the NBA. We'd love to see you play. When these athletes sign up for another Olympic Games, and who knew it'd be a 5-year commitment this time around, but that's a big chunk of your life to plan around.
It is, and it's a team sport, and you give so much, so it's not like you're going to just sign up for 1 year, right? So 5 years, and now she's battling.
Closing in, trying to make that roster just like so many of these women in the pool. Lots of whitewater here. Rainey tangled up with Parks. And it'll go against Jordan Rainey. Power play for Hungary. 4 seconds left. They got to go. Steph Johnson turns away the 6-on-5 as we end the third quarter. Szilagyi trying to beat Johnson and beat the buzzer on the advantage. And the Olympic champ not having it. Final moments of this third quarter. Hungary needing this. Johnson, other ideas. A big save to close out the period. Aerial shots, Heritage Park, right here in Irvine, California, just outside the William Woollett Aquatics Center, Orange County. And this USA squad, we've hinted at their dominance. We've shown you some photos, but here are some of the stats. And this is just lately. So we're not talking about world championships that happened back in 03 or 07 or 09. This is in the recent years, and it is absolutely tough to beat, to put it mildly. This is a squad that teams just haven't had much chance against.
I look to other sports, you know, dynasties, and it's like, who can you start comparing them to? Because I don't think they get enough credit for the dominance that they have shown in the last, 6 years, 7 years?
You think about USA Soccer, USA Basketball, we're talking about dominant women's programs. We know softball was legendary there for a number of years. That sport coming back to the Olympic Games. And for this team, it's often sometimes hiding in plain sight, right? They're there, they're at the Olympics, they're so dominant, but they get overshadowed by some of the other teams that are also fantastic to watch, but these numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and a sport that doesn't have a professional league in the U.S., right? So how do you become this, how do you stay this dominant if you can't play on American soil and stay competitive, right? So kudos to this program.
And for these athletes, it often means going to Europe to play professionally after their college days are done. This entire Hungarian roster, they play in the Hungarian league. Around 4 to 5 clubs, they're all competing for, working together. That's how they got their water polo fix when there was no national team competition. And it's what many of these USA athletes have done pre-pandemic. So Maggie Steffens, Jamie Nuschel, they've played in the Hungarian league. They know these Hungarian athletes very well. Others have played in Greece and Spain and elsewhere that get that high-level experience when they're after the college availability.
Yeah, and it helps you stay fresh on different systems of play if you're an American player. So it helps us, but I wish there was more in the U.S. for them.
11-5, USA in front here to start the fourth quarter. Castilly slams that pass inside, but Hochschild and Parks are fully entangled. And this will go against Paige Hochschild.
usually if there's an entanglement, it's not going to be to the benefit of the defender.
Well said and accurate. On the advantage, Hungary has struggled all match long, bar out. Even with a clean look, that ricochets away. Now 0 for 7 on the advantage.
I mean, what else can Hungary do, right? There was a great shot attempt. Just that bar did not bounce for them.
And you don't want to make it this simple. It's not as clean as Hungary 0 for 7, Team USA 8 for 10 on the advantage, but it does tell a lot of the story. Fisher walks it in. That's a pass up for grabs. Steffens, Hochschild, time winding down. Paige Hochschild on point with her second on the perimeter skip shot.
Yes, it's not as simple as 5-on-6, 6-on-5, but even that, right? Like an almost steal converts into a goal for Team USA.
And again, the patience as we see the shot clock winding down. The hesitation even. There's just not that feeling of, I gotta go. You see it from younger, inexperienced teams. She knows exactly how much time she has.
There's no panic.
12-5, Team USA once again pulling away here in the fourth quarter. Heavy pressure again. Hochschild adding her second. We told you about that USC championship. Hochschild, one of the athletes that plays for USC, but redshirted this year, as so many college athletes do during Olympic training. Entry in and an exclusion. So a goal on one end, an exclusion on the other for Paige Hochschild. And a save for Johnson. Ashley Johnson again devours an attempt on the 6-on-5. And I echo you, Brenda. At this point, what else is Hungary supposed to do? They're 0 for 8. They're either barring out or seeing Johnson swat everything away.
Yeah, and their center Parks is really working. She's getting all these opportunities. And it's just one of those tough days in the office.
And a tough sequence there for the Fisher sisters. Mackenzie bar out. Aria has a near rebound. That can't cross the goal line. The entire ball has to cross over the goal and in. Couldn't get it to go, and it stays 12-5. Parks again working in close, this time battling with Maggie Steffens. Instead, the skip is there from the outside. Ashley Johnson getting a piece of it on that Rita Castillo attempt. And it'll come back in. So we'll have a timeout here, as we'll have a 6-on-5, and we'll step aside and return after this break. ESPN's exclusive presentation of USA Women's Water Polo is brought to you by Anti-Wave and Cap 7 International. Ashley Johnson doing the job again. The Olympic champ. She took 2017 off to finish up school at Princeton, where she won the Catino Award. That's water polo's version of the Heisman Trophy as the best in the college game. But then came back gold with Team USA in 2019 and poised again to make her second Olympic roster. 16 saves in this one, Brenda, and just continues to show why she has developed into the best in the world at this position.
Yes, and I would just like to highlight that having a player that goes to school outside of California is key to the continued growth of our sport. So kudos for her for finding her own path, going to Princeton, and still finding her way on this dominant team leading the way.
Yeah, we talked about, obviously, her trailblazing path at the Olympics and being the first African-American woman to represent USA water polo at the games. And on a number of levels, her journey, all part, as this one is a bar out here, that idea of showing that you can do it matters, whether it's the color of your skin, where you're from, the college you went to. She checks a lot of boxes for people that haven't followed the typical water polo path. You're another one.
Yes, and it's a lot of responsibility to be the first of many things, and I think she's doing a great job being that representative, and sometimes you don't ask to be, and you know, she's doing that great job just simply by working hard and contributing to this dominant team.
Shot clock to 3 here. Steffens, and that's Cascio off the post. She was able to close off on that near side. And now on the other end, Johnson out, a gamble, and it pays off.
We talk about what different things Hungary can do to kind of turn this game around, and that would be one of them, but just unlucky bounces. That ball skidded away from Rita.
And now Rainey on this end. Everything clicking for Team USA. Jordan Rainey. 3 goals last night, 3 goals in this one.
It reminds me of a 2-goal turnaround, right?
Yeah,
you think
exactly.
It's just those unlucky breaks.
On one end, it looks as if you've got the goalie out, you've got position, and then Johnson makes a play, and then you come back the other side, and Jordan Rainey connects. And we've told you about the balance on offense. Jordan Rainey, not traditionally a big scorer if you think about this team, but this is not one of those squads where you can look at each game and know, okay, it's going to be that person who's going to score 3 or 4 goals. It really can be anybody. Inside here, step through, Johnson out, penalty. And again, Yang Yoshi draws a crowd in close, and this is textbook stuff from the center. She gets position, turns inside, and then lets go with that ball. And the officials see that and recognize the potential for a goal. It's one of the easiest ways to draw a penalty in water polo. She does that, and now a chance for her teammates to cash in. And the goal is there for Rita Castilly, her first.
Yeah, it's that advantage rule, right? Where if you turn your defender and you are closest to the goal, you're going to get rewarded. It's all about who has that opportunity to score the ball.
And newer rules here in international play, as Castilly is able to convert, have also rewarded offensive players that get past their defender inside 6 meters.
Yes.
And so we're seeing that more, but what Yang Yoshi did, that's a classic move going back over the years.
Yes, and that's a new rule. And even as a coach for myself, it's something to get used to. It's promoting more offense, and people like a lot of goals being scored.
They do, they do. And you were hitting on it earlier. Some of these rule changes, I think, tried to remove some of the things that became a little stale in the game, where you knew, okay, foul outside 5, we're going to see a shot, or no live action from 2 meters on a restart. Things just shaking it up a bit.
I know our defenders are, not liking all these switches, but I think that it's good for the game. I think it's more action-packed, more shots on go, and all of you at home could recognize that a little easier.
Kasho tips that one out. Second of 3 here between Team USA and Hungary. Don't forget, we're back June 2nd. We'll be in El Segundo. Hungary and Team USA right here live on ESPNU and the ESPN app, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's the night before the team is chosen and announced for the Olympic roster. So a real final look for this USA squad. Make sure you come back and join us next week. Shot clock to 5. Fatal, Rainey. Score it, Williams. Elise Williams, 3.
The timing of it all. Maddie Musselman takes a little stroke closer to the goal. You think she's the next shooter, but no, it's Elise Williams who has a better angle on that great passing sequence and awareness.
And another athlete on this team that is primarily looked at as a defender, but showing her offensive abilities. So Rainey, Williams, typically defenders, both with 3 goals in this one. And 14-6, Team USA has quickly put this one away. Skip bar out. Rebound, and so close. I hear you gasp here.
I know, I gasped because that was going to be an ESPN moment. If off the bar she caught it, bare hand, and just like put it back in the goal. But no.
Rabanska so close. And Elise Williams now on the other end. Moving in, has all day, tries to thread it inside to Seidemann. Ball under is the call as Van de Vaay comes over on the crash. Under 2 to play in this one.
The goalposts are so unpredictable, so it's fun when they do something.
Well, we saw Castilly try to rip a helicopter from 6 meters last night, so we're still looking for that SC top 10 moment here in this USA-Hungary series. Illich from the outside, bar down, nicely done. Anna Illich connecting from the perimeter. It'll be too late in this one, but the former Cal Bear is able to hit for her first.
I see a trend, a lot of high corner over the head shots, so maybe that's something that Hungary will look to focus on.
Well, if it seems like Ashley Johnson is denying every other shot you try.
Exactly.
Coach Attila Biro and company might as well go high corner. We're shaping up towards a very similar finish from last night in Commerce. 14-9 there, 14-7 thus far. 16 saves for Ashley Johnson in net. Williams, now Musselman. Elise Williams walks it in, lets it go, and the field block. Rabanska in close. Back to Kasho, and Hungary will take a look.
They're working that counterattack, trying to get in some extra possessions, right?
Even though this one is all but decided here as Musselman comes up with the steal, we do talk about this is preparation for big events on the way. The FINA World League Super Final in Athens in a couple of weeks, then the Olympic Games. So you can take little pieces of what happens here. It's that real game experience.
Yes, you can, in your head, you're thinking, you know, down by 1, 30 seconds left in the game. What would I do? How do I help my team?
Rainey. Now Williams. Team USA still attacking. Fatal. Good look. Musselman. Kasho's there with a big stop. Ursulia Kasho. Again, she has denied a few that have been in a very tough spot. And now a timeout called as the air horn sounds. Hungary will call for time. And you talk about replicating late game scenarios, as there's still a tie up here between Seidemann and number 9, Susanna Mate. But this is why Attila Biro calls for time, because you could scrimmage and practice this, but now you'll get live defense with 18 seconds left.
Yeah, and you have all your plays, right? And you're trying to see, like, is there one I could try now that I'm going to put away in my pocket for another day down the line?
These two teams, they will meet in the Olympic Games. It's already a known fact. They're in the same group at the Tokyo Games. And a very famous meeting kicked off a different Olympics back in 2012. USA took on Hungary, and that's where Maggie Steffens made her mark on the world stage. 7 goals to defeat Hungary, 14-13 to start those Olympics in London. And that's how everyone then knew the name Maggie Steffens. She joined Brenda Viet, am I right, here on the way to a gold medal. But Team USA and Hungary, they've become two squads that have met up in some of the important events over the last couple of years.
If my memory isn't, did we meet up in 2004 opening game?
You are correct. Going back in the archives.
Yeah. Oh, goalie out with these new rules, right?
Yep, goalie into the front court now. So a 7-on-6 advantage. And Johnson there to save it, and that's how this one will end. So Hungary brings the goalie into the front court to try one more attempt on a new play. Ashley Johnson fittingly closes the door on Team Hungary in this one, as Team USA will win it 14-7. They take the second in this 3-game series against the Hungarians, as we'll finish things off next week in El Segundo. But Ashley Johnson, 17 saves, the last coming right there, as Team USA picks up the win. Again, a balanced offensive attack. Harla Beatus, Williams, Rainey, 3 goals apiece. We've got more to come from here in Irvine. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll check in with head coach Adam Krikorian. Back to Irvine after this. Welcome back to Irvine, California, the Woollett Aquatics Center, where Team USA defeats Hungary 14-7, second straight win. And now we're joined by the head coach for Team USA, Adam Krikorian. Coach, last night, Natalie Benson talked about the exclusions, and Hungary was so strong on the 6-on-5, and we surmised you discussed that before today's game, but you took it to heart. You hold Hungary 0 for 8 on the advantage. Give us a sense of your 6-on-5 defense.
Yeah, much better today. I just thought we were a little bit more active, not just sitting back and just kind of relying on our shot blocks, just putting a little bit more pressure on them, trying to get them uncomfortable. And we were a little better, but they also missed some easy opportunities, I thought. And Ashley was phenomenal in the goal as well.
I think about Hungary's center, right, and watching her and how active she is in there. And I see that you were running like a deep zone at some point. So how do you stop her, right? And how do you minimize the ejections if you can? Like, what strategies were you thinking about?
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, they have two really good centers who draw a lot of attention, and you know, it's not that we want to be in that deep of a zone. They kind of force us to be that deep in a zone, and sometimes the strategy is just hold our ground, do a nice job of shot blocking, know our responsibilities, and And then, quite frankly, to be perfectly honest, sometimes it's just hope Ashley blocks the ball. And again, she was really, really good tonight. So she made our defense look maybe a little bit better than it probably was.
And then on the other side of it, you go 8 for 10 on 6-on-5. And we talked last night about the balance, and Rainey 3 goals, Williams 3 goals. We talk with these women, and they stress that any one of them could be the one to score. So how do you describe that philosophy? How is it set up where nobody has to be the one that takes all the shots?
Yeah, you know, it's a philosophy. I'm very fortunate. There's so many talented players in this team that were their best players on their college teams or their high school teams or club teams, so on and so forth. But they all buy into the team concept and moving the ball and sharing the ball. And when you watch our 6-on-5 like today, the ball just is gaining energy every time it's passed, and that's something that we really believe in. And obviously they did a nice job today sharing it. And it's tough. It's tough. I think Jordan said it yesterday. It's just tough to play against us when we can beat you from so many different areas.
You know, something that you've said often is the game doesn't know, right? So I guess the game doesn't know on this team who's going to score the ball, right? It doesn't matter because it'll get in the goal. But I think about going against the goalkeepers that you have on Team USA. And I know everyone's a top scorer from their own college teams and other teams, but does that help, right? Does that, like, take you to the next level as a shooter? Does that help, like, Team USA on offense when you have, you know, Johnson and
Amanda
yes. and Gabby up in the goal, just making it really hard for you all?
Yeah, I mean, Brenda, you know, everyone just sees the game here. What they don't see is the training and the practice, and that's really where the magic happens. And when you have 3 excellent goalkeepers like that, they're challenging our shooters every single day. It's a humbling experience at times, and they force you to be better. And yeah, I mean, it's just we're very fortunate. Goalkeeper is probably the most important, although I don't give them as much credit as I typically do. And they're a little strange, you know. Sometimes they're very similar to a kicker in football, but they're also really important, obviously. And when you have 3 great ones like we do, it's kind of our security blanket.
We were talking earlier about the dominance of your team, and amongst the rest of Team USA, all these great women's national teams. And you've talked about, no disrespect to them, but maybe your squad doesn't always get the attention it deserves on those big moments. And this has been a showcase this week and next. And just for you, how important is it to have people recognize, at least for a few hours, what your squad's been able to do?
Yeah, it's incredibly important for us. We take great pride in trying to move the needle for our sport in general, trying to push it out there a little further and gain in popularity. And we think we've done a lot of good things, obviously, for our sport and just for sport in general. We love the recognition, and these women, I can't speak for, I don't want to speak for them, or I can't because I'm a male, but as females in sport, and just seeing the movement happen in our society, and how much strength that the women are gaining, and how much confidence they're gaining. You know, they want to empower other young women to be inspired to one day, whether it's do this or just be great and be themselves and be confident. And we feel like this is kind of an avenue in order to help move the needle, as I said in the beginning.
Adam, good stuff. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week in El Segundo.
Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, Adam Krikorian, head coach for Team USA, joining us on the heels of a 14-7 win. We've got more coming up here from Irvine. Elise Williams, 3 big goals for Team USA. She'll join us after this. Welcome back. Team USA defeating Hungary 14-7, all part of this USA Water Polo Showcase leading up to the Tokyo Olympic Games. The roster announced next week for Team USA as they prepare to defend their gold medal. Big part of tonight's win, Elise Williams joining us now. 3 important goals. Elise, I know there's a long layoff between games. Just give us the sense. Canada last week, Hungary this week. How exciting is it to be back playing against anybody?
This is something we've been talking about for months, over a year now, really. It's just the opportunity to play games. It's huge for us. It's where we draw a lot of our confidence from, our energy from. Obviously, practice is important to improve and get better and work on things, but the games is where it's at. That's where we really enjoy playing these, and so just to get these opportunities is really big for us moving forward.
So what do you think about now going into Game 3, playing Hungary? They're, you know, a physical great shooting team, and you've had 2 great nights. So it's like, it's hard to beat a great team 3 times. So it's like, what are you thinking about? What are you going to focus on?
I think in both the first and second game, there's a lot to learn from and a lot to work on for us, especially defensively. We've come out strong in both games, but I think the talk over the next few days before our next game against them will be focused on defense and how can we really shut them out in the second half. So it's really just taking advantage of every opportunity, like I said, but also getting better each game is really important to us as well, especially defensively. That's kind of where our pride and joy is our defense. So how can we be better there?
Elise, we were highlighting your perseverance over these last 5 years to be one of those final cuts before Rio and then to come back and keep doing it. And I loved the things you were talking about with the Associated Press last week. Basically, you find adversity and there's no option for you other than just to keep going forward. Where does that mindset come from, that even though you didn't get what you wanted last time, you're back here still after it?
I mean, I told the Associated Press, Jay Cohen, the same thing. It's just, I mean, there's not really another option for me in the sense that I guess there's a choice. I can either be angry and bitter and go home and pout, or I get to, like, support my best friends. I've been with them for years, so my option was that. I got to watch them do amazing things in Rio. I got to be there in support in the stands and just cheer them on the whole time. And obviously, it was heartbreaking to a sense, but just the pride I felt of that team in general. And like I said, these girls are my best friends. So my choice was to come back and to enjoy this process with them one more time. And regardless of the end result of how this turns out, I think I've tried my best to take advantage of this, especially these last 5 years, just enjoying the process.
So listening to you right now, Elise, like, I'm not emotional, but it takes so many more than the 13, right? So, like, to hear that, and I saw you in the stands in Rio as I was home watching and cheering them on. So I know from talking to players on the team, like, you're a great teammate, right? So you can see that in the way you talk about playing with your best friend. So just, I don't have a question. It's just, like, kudos to you, right? Because it is more than the wins and the losses. It is more of, like, making that roster. It's the journey, and it's doing it with your best friend. So just good luck, and I've enjoyed watching you and Team USA these last 5 years.
Well, I will say that means a lot, especially coming from you. You're obviously, like, we talk about you and your journey and the things that you've done, and you're an inspiration to all of us, so that really means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Elise Williams, thanks for stopping by. We're excited to see what you do next, and we're looking forward to seeing you and Team USA back in action next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Elise Williams joining us here. 3 big goals for Team USA, and you hear stuff like that, how can you not help but root for someone like Elise Williams and her path, however it shakes out for Team USA come next week. Wrapping things up here at the Woollett Aquatics Center, where Team USA defeats Hungary 14-7 in their second of 3 pivotal matchups on the way to Tokyo. Just hearing from Elise Williams and her journey, inspiring stuff from someone trying to come back and make an Olympic roster for the first time. And she'd look to make a team just like Ashley Johnson, our clean athlete of the game, is looking to make her second Olympic team roster. Ashley, 17 saves in this one. And Brenda, we heard Adam Corian talk about it. Sometimes things don't work out and Ashley saves the day.
You know, it's great to have that as your, second or third option. You have the best goalkeeper in the world, and if something breaks down, oh, we have Ashley. And she showed time and time again, she's patient, she's dynamic, she's aggressive out of the goal. There was a counterattack that Hungary almost had a clean breakaway. Ashley came out and stole it. So, I mean, we'll take it.
And look at the bottom number highlighted. Power play, Hungary, 0 for 8. Team USA 8 for 10. That tells you a lot you need to know about this matchup and how strong Team USA was on both sides of the ball. They took it personally last night that they weren't that strong on 6-on-5, and they really zeroed in.
Yeah, and Elise Williams mentioned it right. It's like defense is what they pride themselves in, and you could tell from one day to the next they made the adjustments to make sure that they're still playing the water polo that they want to be playing.
And it showed here tonight, 14-7. All part of their path to the Olympic Games, which are coming up in mid-July. Here's the groupings, and Team USA, they'll join Hungary in Group B. They'll start with Japan, so that's a challenge. They'll open in Tokyo against the home team. That'll be an interesting development there. And you look at these groups, Brenda, you've been through these before. Your feelings on the way things shook out with the draw?
You know, you can't control it.
Yeah.
So you look at your list, you have your game plans, and you go for it. And I think it's great that they open with Japan and Tokyo, right? It's like, let's bring it. Let's get the home crowd energy going and just really kick off this Olympics.
And then you look across the way. When you think about crossovers, as you always do with the Olympics, Australia, Spain, the Dutch lingering there on the other side. That could be, depending on how things shake out in group play, some really dynamic crossover action.
Yeah, and it's just to the testament to the women's game, right? It is growing. We have 10 teams in the Olympics now, and it's a tough matchup, whichever way you look at it. So you could only focus on yourself, and if you do that, then you usually have a successful tournament.
Spoken like a true athlete. Control the controllables. We can only focus on what we can control, and Team USA will prepare for the Olympic Games coming up, but still some work to do. They'll take on Hungary. We're back here June 2nd in El Segundo. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for USA and Hungary. Make sure you come back and join us for that right here on ESPNU. But so far, so good for the most dominant squad in all the land. Team USA defeats Hungary 14-7 to take their second victory in this exhibition series. That'll do it for us here tonight in Irvine. For my partner, Brenda Villa, for our producer, Steve Elkin, for our director, Jason Moon, Greg Meskel, saying thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week in El Segundo. More Team USA water polo action. Have a great rest of your day.